to another episode of It Really Works. You're here with
Beata.
And I'm Marcus. Today we're going to talk about, well, actually, let me ask you this question. Beata, do you like to suffer?
No, and I think nobody likes it.
Nobody likes suffering?
No.
Yeah, I would say that's kind of a universally agreed upon issue. And the whole thing is, most of us, or many of us, tend to suffer throughout the day. And I wanted to share something that has been instrumental for me over the last 10, 15 plus years that has helped me tremendously to, frankly, suffer less. And that is this methodology known as letting go. So let me kind of explain where suffering comes from to begin with. What I mean by suffering, and I understand that's a very general topic. There's a lot of definitions for that, but suffering under most circumstances comes from an emotional attachment to a particular outcome. So what do I mean by that? Let's say that you have a project that is due within 3 days, and until that project is completed, you might be feeling stressed, worried. You might have anxiety. Could be the same thing if you're trying to increase your income. You're struggling maybe a little bit to pay your bills. Until those bills are covered, you've got proper money for it. That creates stress. That's an emotional outcome. We're holding back our happiness until those particular outcomes are met.
Yeah, and maybe also related to work, like you are a lot to do at work.
Sure.
And you are preoccupied that you will make or do everything on time.
Right. So that's exactly right. So that's what I'm referring to when it comes to emotional attachment. There is this, we're holding off on enjoying life until certain things happen.
Yeah, and I don't know for you, but for me, like if I have something very important happening in my life, like it could be related also to work. Let's say something important that is happening, I need to be done with everything on time. So I am the person that I am thinking about it again and again until it is done.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I bombarded my head with these thoughts.
Right.
And
Right.
Yeah, from most of the time, it's kind of suffering.
Right, exactly. And that's a wonderful example of suffering and being unhappy
And
until,
under stress also.
right, and feeling the stress until that thing you want to have happen actually does. So this methodology that I learned many years ago, and it's not just exclusive to this place that I learned it, and I'll get more into that in a moment, it's really helped. So what I'm about to share with you, it's not about ignoring the problem, but what it does do, it allows, I've seen, the way to the solution to be a lot smoother, a lot more enjoyable. And that method I'm talking about is letting go, releasing, letting these emotions pass through. So what do I mean by letting go? It is essentially making a conscious decision, a decision right now that whatever it is you're feeling in the moment, you let that feeling be there. You don't fight it, whether it's stress, anxiety, fear, anger, whatever it might be, and then making a conscious decision to let that feeling pass through you, essentially just letting it go, releasing it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't keep it inside of you, but just try to accept it whenever, I don't know, you make a mistake. Like it was in my case lately. I made a mistake at work.
Right.
And I was very disappointed, angry with myself, also preoccupied because my kind of work is very demanding, let's say.
Oh, sure.
And I was very angry with myself. And then I just try to remind myself that, yes, what's the point? Okay, I made a mistake. It's done. It's already done. I need to focus right now how to put everything again
Right.
in order.
You just move forward.
Yeah, and move forward, because it's not good to keeping all these emotions inside of us.
Right, right. And that's the thing, right? That's part of what I'm getting at when it comes to suffering. the whole thing about emotional attachment, the whole thing about keeping what we're feeling pushed down inside of us is actually incredibly unhealthy. And if you can do any basic web search on this, you type in suppressed emotions, holding your feelings back, and you'll discover very quickly that most research finds that to be very unhealthy.
And it's very exhausting also for
It
our
is,
body.
yeah,
Then I
yeah.
noticed like if I have the situation and I suffer like for at least 2 days
Hmm.
to be
Yeah,
healed,
yeah,
because stress,
because you're often fighting it,
yes,
right?
exactly, and fighting it, it's very stressful,
Right.
and we suffer a lot about that. So at some point you just ask yourself, is it worth?
Worth the battle. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
Well, that's the thing, though. I think a lot of us, and I can't speak for everybody, of course, but from what I've experienced and seen, I grew up with a culture that said you always want to press through, you want to fight, you want to push, push, push to get whatever it is you want. When in truth, and I'm not talking about giving up here, there's a very big difference. But in truth, when you simply are not fighting the emotion, I'm not talking about not doing your work. I'm not talking about not finishing the projects or dealing with whatever challenge you're coming across. What I'm referring to here is the emotional impact that those moments can have when you're not fighting how you feel, acknowledging it, and then just making that decision to let that feeling pass through you. We're not talking about commanding it. It's not about control because that's all about fighting. This is essentially kind of like saying, I feel like crap right now, so I'm going to let the crap be here. And now that I'm acknowledging the crap is here, I'm going to choose to let it go as best I can.
And then to improve the next time, I will be more careful what I am doing.
Well, there's
Yeah,
that,
and
sure.
if it happens again,
Then you don't fight it.
yeah, I
You
will
simply
not
allow.
fight. I will just
And
move.
here's the crazy thing about this, and this is something that a lot of psychologists and psychotherapists use. The more often you're willing to admit that that emotion or feeling is there, number one, the faster over time it goes away. And secondly, the less likely it is to appear. And third, the more likely you are to be happy and far more satisfied with your life. I'm not saying it's a magic pill. It's not what I'm getting at. We still got to do work. We still need to be diligent. None of that changes. But you don't have to have as much difficulty along the way.
Okay, so how you will describe this letting go process? In
Okay.
the steps, few steps.
So as I kind of began with, let's just take a step back here for a moment on that. There's no 100% this way is the only way to do it. The whole basis of letting go actually arguably originates from the principle of wu wei. Wu wei is a Chinese terminology that means kind of like being with the flow. It essentially means don't fight. It means allowing what's happening to simply take place. When it comes to letting go, there are a number of ways you can do it. Here's what I have found that works the best. And you'll know the moment it's happening because you don't feel good. You don't feel good, simply acknowledge to yourself, you can do it out loud or you can do it internally. Yeah, I don't feel good. I don't like this. I'm pissed off, or I'm sad, or I'm depressed. You acknowledge that feeling, and you'll know it when it's happening because you're down in it. Then when you acknowledge it, you simply ask yourself, can I let this go? Now, whether it's yes or no makes no difference. The very fact that you're allowing yourself to address that emotion seems to loosen it up. And then after that, you simply make a decision. I'm going to let this thing go. I'm going to let it pass through me. Under most circumstances, it will go away almost immediately. Not always, but almost immediately. And if it doesn't, every single time, it loosens up and it gets easier and easier to kind of just let it pass through you. The thing is, a lot of what we may be experiencing, it depends what kind of the emotion and feeling is. If it's something like you're at work and you're just angry at a coworker, that's one thing. But sometimes anger, depression, whatever, could come from much deeper issues. It could be from childhood trauma. It could be from something else that was really never properly addressed. Doing this will start to chip away at it.
So it will help.
It will help tremendously, yeah.
I remember that I still have this audiobook, and also some book, I think it was from Hale Dwoskin, that
Yeah.
he is a big regarding the letting go issue.
So Hale Dwoskin, I'm actually really glad you brought him up. Hale Dwoskin is the gentleman who introduced that method to me. And I don't know the man personally, but I came across his works and materials during a time when I was pretty low, as a matter of fact. I uh, I was going through some very significant personal issues, and when I adopted the understanding that I just shared with you about allowing the emotions, because I was going through a lot of very extremely difficult financial and personal circumstances, the emotions from that were, you can imagine, right? So addressing those emotions and feelings whenever I experienced them, I was able to get over it a lot more quickly. And here's the thing, right? Most of us, no, I'm going to take that back. All of us are very intelligent people. We are. The things that tend to interfere with thinking and intelligence are less about perhaps the education and the knowledge, and that's important, don't get me wrong, but more so about the emotional hindrances. How many times have you come across people who have difficulty doing public speaking? Why? Because of fear. Where does the fear come from? What does fear do? It chokes it out.
Related to our emotions.
Right. Let's say somebody has an education in a particular field and they want to apply for a job, but when it comes to the interview, that person doesn't do well. Why? Because they're afraid of how they're going to be seen. Fear, anxiety, being told that they're no good. These things come up.
Exactly. And the point is here, like the solution. Just don't be afraid. Just do whatever you want to do. Don't be afraid about the judgment of other people. Because
But
this is probably for me it was the big problem.
well, fear is going to come up. So the question is, what do you do when it does? This letting go is it's one of many ways you can arguably address it. Some people use affirmation, some people do replacement thoughts. I like the letting go because it's very natural. It comes from that principle I described earlier of Wu Wei. It's something that you notice all throughout nature. Nature, life has a rhythm. And all you're basically doing is getting that blockade out of the way and tapping into the rhythm. I know that you have had tremendous success with doing affirmations. I know affirmations are very powerful, but I think they may be even more effective if this principle of letting go is applied when that emotion comes up. And then when that negative emotion and feeling is gone, you start to do an affirmation, it takes greater root, and here we are.
Yeah, that's true. So just to summarize it, we need to admit the
Pretty
problem,
much. Pretty much.
then ask ourselves, okay, so what I want to do? I want to suffer, or I just,
Yeah.
want to be released
That
from
is
this
a great
suffering.
way. There's a great way to look at it. Because when you know it's happening, you already start to become free because you're not a victim to it anymore.
Because if we ask ourselves, so what's the point? What's the point to stay in this emotional
Sure.
situation or problems?
Well, a lot of people, though, are, and I know I was, strangely enough, attached without realizing it, almost addicted to certain emotions. Some people like to feel bad. If you like feeling bad, keep doing that. But if you want life to change, there has to be an understanding. I'm feeling bad right now. I don't like where I'm at. I want something to change. So as a result, I'm not going to fight this. This is what I'm feeling, but I'm going to make this conscious decision to let it pass through me, not have it anymore, and then let your true self come out, which is peace.
And always
harmony.
remind ourselves that we will become better. So
Yeah.
okay, we did
So that's
this
the affirmation
mistake,
part,
and
yeah.
let's move on
Yeah.
this, and let's do something else. Let's try to become
Exactly.
better person. And I know that there are also some benefits from this methodology.
There's a whole bunch, and we'll wrap it up basically by saying this. And as I mentioned earlier, psychologists, they use this regularly, and those who apply it have a lot of success. But here's some of the benefits you'll have. You're obviously going to feel better for a lot longer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, that's a big one. And frankly, the better you feel, the better you're going to do essentially everything,
Everything.
right?
You perform better.
You're going to do better at work. You're going to be more likable. Your thinking will be clearer. And also, there are some health benefits as well. And again, don't take our word on this. Go ahead and take a look, do your own research on this. But people who embrace this kind of thought process, this kind of letting go of emotions, you get rid of these emotions, the body tends to heal itself a lot more quickly. Obviously, this is not replacing any doctor's advice, but I'm saying bring it to their attention, consider applying this. You'll be amazed. The truth is, if you're willing to give this a shot and just try it, I mean, it's not
You
difficult.
will definitely feel less stressed.
Yeah, you should feel lighter and honestly
And
much happier.
life usually feels much, much better.
It does. So, anything else you want to share?
No, I think that at the beginning I didn't understand a lot this methodology. Let's say I listened a lot, many times this podcast of Harry Dwoskin, and I was asking myself what it is, how I need to do it. It was kind of challenging for me.
Did you think it was bullshit, my love?
At some point I said, what a bullshit it is.
But you know why you felt it was a bullshit? Because you, like a lot of people, think that you got to be as actively involved
Exactly.
when in truth, and I'm not saying that it's affirmations and education and
Yeah, because for
and
me, like the
discipline.
character, I am kind of person that is not easy to let go of some emotions for me.
Yeah.
I always need to digest it, but I notice some improvement because when I think in the way that, okay, so I did the mistake, life is going, we need to go ahead, we need to move on, and yeah, it's much better right
Absolutely.
now. So I agree. I start to enjoy a little bit more this methodology, even if I prefer to do my affirmation.
Well, here's the best part. You can do both, and that's the benefit. It's not like you're having to give up one for the other. Everybody, thank you so much. This actually concludes this episode. Have a great day. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
And until the next time, enjoy yourself.
Bye.
Bye.